Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to cover a really big topic. We're going to be talking about left hand and right hand technique. But you'll finally get to play your viola. So let's start with our right hand first. There are basically two main ways to use your right hand. One is what we mentioned last time, it's called the pizzicato. And the other one is obviously to use your bow. So first let's delve more into the technique pizzicato. Pizzicato is using the pads on your fingers to pluck the string. Pizzicato usually comes up in the middle of the piece, so you won't necessarily have time to put down your bow for that. Therefore, what we'll do is that we still hold the bow with our other fingers, but we extend the index fingers to pluck the string. Pizzicato is used to add texture to the music, and sometimes it requires different kinds of tones. So usually we play pizzicato between here and here. The closer you are to the bridge, the harder the sound is, and the closer you are to the fingerboard, the softer the tone is. This is the frog of the bow, and then this is the stick all the way, and this is the tip, and then we have the hair all the way from tip to the frog. As you can see, there's the screw at the end of the frog. This is what we use to tighten and untighten the bow. It's the same rule as how we use the pegs for tuning. So lefty loosey, righty tighty. So how tight do we want the bow to be? Basically, we want the hair to be all straightened, but we still need to see the arch of the bow. So once you tighten the bow until you think it's a good level, try to test it on one finger. So press a little bit and make sure the stick is not touching the hair. The stick and the hair should never be parallel. This is how tight I usually want my bow to be. And make sure you untighten it every time after you play, so the stick gets to relax. As I mentioned, we need to apply rosin onto the hair. So rosin helps create friction, which helps the bow to grip the strings better and speak more clearly. This is my rosin. It's very, very old already. The brand is called Andrea. You can find many different brands, and I'll say all of them work. This one is around $25 to $30. You can easily find ones that are around $10. Rosins are very fragile, so if you drop it on the floor, it'll break. So try to keep it in good shape. It'll last for a very long time. So when I apply the rosin, I usually do 3 to 5 strokes. You can do more if the hair is new, and I usually apply it once every 3 days. Rosin gets on the string after you play, so make sure you wipe it off every time before you put your instrument away. So let's see how to hold a bow. First, relax your hand and make this like dinosaur hand, and your fingers should look exactly like how they should on the bow. So now let's try to hold a bow. Just put it on like this and relax your hand. The contact point of your fingers and the bow should be around here on the second knuckle. And then your pinky should be on the top. Relax your middle finger and ring finger, and your index finger should be a little bit apart from your middle finger like this. And then your thumb should connect with your middle finger. The pinky should be curled, and the thumb as well should have a little space here. So don't do this. It should look like this. And your wrist should be flat. If the thumb being here is a little bit hard for now, you can try holding it down here. Instead of here, you can hold it here, but try to keep the other fingers in good shape on top and practice from here. Now let's put the bow on the string. So let's start from the frog first. You see the wrist should be flat and your hair should be all flat on the string. The stick should be right on top of the hair. Don't tilt it like this. It should be all flat. When you go to the tip, make sure your elbow pushes out. It can be in the back of your body like this. You can see now the bow is not parallel to the bridge. Make sure the bow is always parallel to the bridge even when you go to the tip. So you have to push your elbow out. Not this way, this way. And when you're back to the frog, try to make sure that your wrist is still fairly flat. So don't do this. You see the bow is not parallel to the bridge again. So try to make your wrist flat so the bow can still stay parallel to the bridge. So practice long bow every day. It may seem very boring, but it's very important. As you can see, the space between the fingerboard and the bridge is very wide. So there are many placements of where your bow can be. So sol ponticello is where you play on the fingerboard, creates a very soft sound. Sol ponticello is when you play almost on the bridge, just very, very close to bridge, and creates this kind of sound. So the closer you are to the bridge, it's louder. The closer you are to the fingerboard, it's softer. So if you want to get a louder sound, you play closer to the bridge and let the gravity take you. If you want to play a soft sound, you use less hair. So you can tilt your bow a little bit and use the side of the hair and play very close to fingerboard, so it sounds softer. Now let's see what to do with our left hand. You should be using the pads of your fingertips, so don't use the nails, don't tilt like this way, use the pads, so like this, and create a nice arch for each finger. So when you put on the string, it should look like this. And similar to the right hand, here your wrist should be fairly flat as well. It might be a little bit hard when you get to the pinky because it's farther. So try to stay as close to the neck as possible. Don't do this way. See, you lose the arch here. So try to keep the arch and keep your palm as close to the neck as possible and keep the wrist flat. Let's see it from a different angle. Let's see the thumb. So very important, the thumb should be relaxed. This whole part should be relaxed, and it should create a little space here so that your hand can move around very freely. If you choke the neck like this, it'll be very hard to move around. So try to give it a little space and relax your thumb. So that was some introduction to the technique of right hand and left hand. And now I'm going to give you a little exercise or a little game that you can do when you're bored in classroom, if you're listening to lecture and you don't have anything to do with your hands, this is something you can just practice. So get a pen, any pencil, pen, anything like this, and just take the pen like this and hold it like how you would hold a bow. So put the pinky on top, index a little bit separate, a little bit space here, and the contact point of your middle finger and thumb. This is what it should look like on the pen too. And just play around with it, move it around, try to see if you can still stay in the same shape, move up and down, sideways, like this, and try to keep your hand still in the good shape. And for your left hand, just find any surface. Find a table, anything, your book, and just practice like this. Try to keep every finger in nice shape and tap it like this, each finger. And your thumb should always be relaxed. Try to find the sweet spot on your pad. Pinky should be the hardest because it's the thinnest, the weakest one. So play with it. That's it for today. I know it's a lot of information, but I hope you learned something. So try to play with the exercise, play with the bow and your instrument a little bit more. Have fun.